Hello and welcome to the two-man power trip of wrestling. My host, JP John Poz. With me today, a very special guest, former WWE Superstar, former OVW Tag Team Champion. Of course, he is an author as well. Jay the God, JTG. Welcome in. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. What's going on, John?
What's going on in your world? I know this new book, Damn, Why Do You Want to Be a Pro Wrestler? The real playbook for aspiring wrestlers, for indie hustlers, and dreamers. Tell us all about the new book.
Oh man, the new book is for the aspiring wrestlers who's thinking about getting into it. They got their feet in the water, but they can't they can't really make up their mind. This book is a good glimpse to give them to give them an idea what they're about to get into, what they're about to put in, what they're about to put their life put their life through and their family. But it's not bad though. It's for me, it's all worth it. The grind, the hustle, and it's also for fans who want to, it will show them I peel the curtain back on the grind and the hustle that it takes, to become a professional wrestler. I think that they will also enjoy it too, and as well.
So what made you want to write the book? What kind of was the genesis?
What was the inspiration? Inspiration because on the road on indies, rookies, they pick my brain. Some of them are shy. I'll talk about that in the book too. Like if you have an opportunity to ride with a vet, take advantage. Pick their brain, and some do. And just so much I want to unload on them, but I don't want to scare them off. So I just decided to write a book, put it in chapters, put in some structure, so they have somewhere to go to where they, whatever. I took a good log of all the questions that they ask, because some of them that is repeated, so I get into real good depth on it, and also I wanted to make sure that it was entertaining, so the fans, they enjoy it as well.
Love that. Who did you ride with, by the way? Like when you were in WWE and stuff, was you like any veterans that you rode with?
Oh, I actually talk about that in the book. I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh, great.
Me and Shad, I'll tell you the story right here. I'll give you a little glimpse of the book. So when me and Shad first started with the WWE, we got a free rental. We got free travel and a free rental, free hotel. And that only lasts for a little bit. But we took advantage of that. So what we did was when we were at the rental car company, since it was free, we upgraded it to like a van. And then we rode with Umaga, his manager, and the world's greatest tag team, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. And we rode with them for a few months. And man, that early in my career, being 21, and be able to sit with all those vets and soak up all that game. I picked their brain. I was a little annoying, but it helped me out in the long run.
That's awesome. What a crew. Jeez, man, what a crew. I
No,
love
we
it.
had some fun on the road. Those are some great times you could never relive, because everybody went their separate ways.
Right, yeah. What's like the best piece of advice you think you got when you were on the road at that point?
I got so many, but one that really stood out is the first time I met Bret the Hitman Hart in Atlanta. He signed my book, and he also put it in my book, and he keeps drilling it in my head: save your money, or keep saving your money. No matter how much money you think you make now, how much money when you get older, you save your money.
Smart, good advice. Even for regular life guy, people that aren't wrestlers, that's pretty smart, sound advice.
Yeah.
So with this book, I mean, obviously you're helping out a lot of younger guys. When the younger guys are asking you questions, are they some of the same questions that you had asked of the veterans, like when you were coming up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like it was simple questions. It's simple to me now, but back then it was very complex. Like how to put a match together, how to put your character together. Like what was my inspiration behind JTG, because it connected with the crowd. How do you connect with the crowd? Like all those questions. Like putting a promo together, I touch on all of that.
And the book is going to cover pretty extensively, like a lot of that, because that's like getting really deep, because each one of those questions could be a chapter, right?
Oh, each of those are a chapter. I also talk about the merch table. Like I get deep into being what it takes to be a wrestler on the indies, and what it takes to be successful.
When you look at that, right, do you think a lot of guys aren't listening to, sound advice, or do you think they're trying to do things on their own, or do you think that they just don't know any better?
Don't know any better, and also laziness. And
Yeah.
sometimes I could be guilty of that.
Because I remember a couple of guys were saying, "Oh, I don't take advice," and they were saying stuff like that, and that was getting out there. And people were, they were getting mad, like, "You don't take advice? What? Like, that's crazy!" Like
No,
it's
in this business,
unbelievable.
you have to take advice in this business.
Do you notice a change in the indies nowadays, or is it kind of still similar to many years ago? Is it still kind of the same?
I think the storytelling has gotten a little bit better. It's still lacking just a little bit because there's still a little spot junkies. But before it was really wild. Like when I was in WWE, when we used to watch some of the indies, it was just a bunch of spots with no storyline. And I think they've gotten a lot better with having some consistency in their in their matches instead of just having a bunch of cool moves.
When you're looking at it, right, like you're coming up with a character, you're, before you're getting signed and stuff, are you writing stuff down? Like, do you keep journals and logs and stuff? Were you one of those kind of guys, or no? You never did that?
Yeah, at that time, I did have a notebook where I would have I would just take during practice, or if I was watching the other class practice, I would just watch, and sometimes they'll make a mistake, and sometimes you could take that mistake and turn it into a cool transition or move. So yeah, and I didn't want to forget that because I always did keep a notepad. And then when cell phones became cool and you could have notes, I decided to put all my notes in my phone. I also wrote most of my book in my phone.
Oh, nice. Do you use the old notes? Do you use them towards the book, like the old notes you took?
Yeah, I'll put all my ideas into notes, and then I'll go back and structure it later.
Wow, it's very old school. Not the phone part, but the doing that and journaling and taking notes and keeping all that stuff.
I just get an idea out of nowhere. There's so many stories that I've forgotten that it will just come to me while I'm just sitting on the bench, in between a workout, and be like, oh yeah, I remember that, and I gotta write it down quick. And my phone is the quickest. Yeah. I don't have to look for a pen and notepad.
Were you always an author? Were you always a writer? Were you always interested in writing?
No, it just my friends and family were just fond of my storytelling, and that inspired me. So I just decided to do it, and I was good at it, and I enjoy doing it. I have fun. It also gives me a chance to go down memory lane, trying to come up with stories.
Right. Sometimes that's good, right? But sometimes that could be a little painful, going back down memory lane, right? A little cathartic.
It could be, but once you've healed, especially with Shad, I have so many photos with Shad in my phone. I can't go in my phone not one day and not see a photo of Shad. And, just even with the stories, all my great stories, Shad's involved in it somehow. But yeah, that took a lot of healing. So I have no issues or trigger moments when when someone talks about Shad or Cryme Tyme or anything like that, because that's one of the things I was really concerned about, even coming back to wrestling. Do I want to go back into a locker room? Because that's the first thing people are going to think of is when they see me as Cryme Tyme. Do I want to talk about it and blah? So I had to deal with that up front, when it was fresh.
Man, it's crazy. It's been all these years now since he passed. Just absolutely crazy with Shad. You still, you can't even think of, a day goes by, you can't even not think about him, right?
Yeah, so I had to deal with it right early, yank the Band-Aid off quick. Yeah.
Man, crazy. And Cryme Tyme, we'll get into it. Such a great moment in time. Such an awesome, unique tag team that was, you never seen them before and haven't seen them since type of tag team. When you wrote this book, obviously you wrote two others, right? Damn, why did I write this book? And Damn, why did I write this book too? Is that you just, so this is your third book, as an author?
This is my third book. I also wrote a training book for bigger biceps. You can find out. Yeah, I wrote that about two or 3 years ago. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I actually, I'm having a blank right now.
Wow, so you are a 4-time author, technically speaking. That's amazing.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
When you're looking at it, right, wrestlers and books and things like that, what do you think differentiates your books? Just because they seem just a lot different than some of the other wrestler books that are out there.
What I get from a lot of fans and when I read a lot of the reviews, I keep it very lighthearted. Like I come with a very humor. I come from a humorous side. Like I take a very negative, bad story that could end somebody's world, and I turn it into a humor story. You get a lesson that you can learn from, and I'm very candid. I'm very raw with my delivery.
Where do you get that from? Because a lot of people do. I mean, they get down the dumps or something. How are you able to turn that around? Where does that come from?
I don't know. I just see a pattern in life where like where you think something's could be really bad, it just turns out all right or a lesson. It's never as bad as you think it is as it is in your head. And life is just ups and downs. So I just go with the flow. I don't let nothing really bother me, and nothing's really. I've been on this planet for 40 years. Has nothing really been so drastic like that I couldn't overcome that. So I just go with that energy.
I got you. That's a good right attitude to have. I think a lot more people should have an attitude like that.
Yeah.
So let's rewind back. How did you meet up with Shad? Like, was it OVW, or where did you guys get connected to begin with, or did you know him pre-wrestling?
I remember the first time I met Shad, it was at my first amateur show at OVW. I was introduced to him by the Pope. You guys know him as the Pope, Elijah Burke.
Yep.
He introduced me to him, and then from there, Shad took me under his wing like a little brother. He was the first person. He showed me how to work out. He helped me get my first job. My first apartment was because of him when he was going into another apartment, and I took over his lease. He gave me my first fake ID.
Nice.
He did a lot of security in Louisville, so he was cool with the bouncers, and he gave me his ID, and I was able to get away with it for a few months, and then I got caught up.
Nice. I love that. So you were assigned to OVW before you were 21. Wow, you were really young.
Oh no, I wasn't signed to OVW or WWE at the time. I was there. I got signed when I was 21.
Oh, okay.
So
But still,
I got
you're getting there.
I got to OVW when I was 18 years old. Yeah.
Damn. So not a contracted guy. You're one of the guys that were there that wasn't contracted.
Yes. I didn't get signed until Vince saw that first vignette we did with in OVW. You know those vignettes that we shot in WWE? Well,
Yep.
we did those exact vignettes, but with lower budget, and that's what got us signed.
What was it called? Neighborhoody or something like that? What was that?
Yeah, Neighborhoody. That was the name that Paul Heyman given me at the time. At my TV, I remember I was debuting on OVW television, and he was like, "We can't call you Gangstar," or because that's what my original tag team name was, Gangstars. He was like, "Neighborhoody, you're from the neighborhood. You're the neighborhoody, the friendly neighborhood gangster." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever you say, Paul Heyman. Yeah, but you like it, I love it."
Yeah, if you're Paul Heyman. If you're liking it, yeah, I'm liking it, right? Yeah.
And as soon as I was able to change it, JTG.
And how did you come up with JTG? Like, how did that just kind of?
No, my name was always JTG. He didn't know that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
How did you like, just in general, like OVW, the system down there? Because obviously it breeds a lot of successful guys that end up in WWE.
Oh, I love the system. I loved OVW. Those were my college years. I had a great time. It taught me not just about the wrestling world and wrestling etiquette, but it also prepared me for life too as well. Because when I got into wrestling as soon as I got out of high school, so I missed out on a lot of social activities. But the locker room definitely got me up to speed. And even just being just man stuff, just basic being a man, you learn stuff like that in the locker room, and that helped me out a lot.
Where did you grow up? Was it the Louisville area, or where did you come from and then end up at OVW?
I grew up born and raised Brooklyn, New York, and then I started off taking the bus to Louisville, Kentucky on the Greyhound bus. I was doing that on the weekends, and then that wasn't reliable anymore. So the move, I had to make the move to Kentucky.
And you were just thinking, you see all the other guys that went through there, OVW's the place to be, the place to go.
Oh yeah, they had a great alumni. When I was there, John Cena was had just got called up not too long ago, not too many months ago, and he just started doing the Thugonomics gimmick. That's when I was in OVW. Who else? Yeah, a lot of the guys was getting called up from OVW, and everybody was like, "That's a spot." Even Tough Enough guys were going there. That's where I actually got the recommendation from a Tough Enough guy. I didn't know anything about OVW until one of the Tough Enough guys who got eliminated. They told him to go there. I looked it up and I saw the alumni, and I'm like, "All right, Mom, I'm going to Kentucky."
Dave Bautista, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Randy Orton, Cena, like we mentioned. Yeah, there's so many guys that went through there. It's unbelievable. It's like the factory. So when you were there, is Cornette there, or is it Heyman, or Cornette's out and Heyman did? Like, I'm trying to remember the years that Cornette was there and Heyman.
I was there for a brief time. Cornette was. I was there for the whole Santino situation.
Oh.
Yeah, I was there for that. Yeah. So yeah,
what the
I did
hell
get.
Happened? He laughed at something at one of the gimmicks or something.
Yeah, it was Boogeyman. They invested a lot of money into Boogeyman, and Jim Cornette was responsible for that. For getting him over and making him a threat. And I think he talked to a lot of the security guys and a lot of the people that was working at OVW, like the crew. And I don't think Santino was present for that. I think he came with his daughter. He was there with his daughter, so he wasn't present for a lot of the crew stuff. So he came as a fan, but he wrestled there. So he came with his daughter, and he was just standing there, and Boogeyman came by him, and he was laughing because he knows Marty. And then that came up on camera, and Cornette wasn't happy about that, and yeah, they had a physical altercation.
So I guess it just made it seem like the character wasn't as menacing if this guy's laughing.
Yeah, Jim Cornette put a lot of brain power, and the WWE relied on him and gave him, however they got their business set up. And yeah, that takes, especially after he had with the crew. But on you don't put your hands on anybody though.
Right. I guess he slapped him. I guess as the story goes, right? He slapped Santino.
Yeah.
And Santino didn't do anything back. He didn't want to maybe lose his job, I guess.
No. Yeah, he didn't want to lose his position. Look at Santino now. He's a future Hall of Famer. Imagine if he did put his hands on Cornette, you wouldn't have the Cobra, or the Cobra stuff.
Right. And the crazy thing is, he's like an MMA, a judo guy. So he could kick ass if he wanted to.
Yeah, if he wanted to. Yeah. So that's another thing, a feather in his hat. He wanted to put his hands on him, he would have been some serious damage. But he practiced restraint.
Nice. Well, crazy, but good that he did that, because obviously very lengthy career and he's still on TV, today.
Yeah, with his daughter. Like, that's amazing to wrestle with your daughter.
Yep. So cool. Like, she's all over NXT. She's been in TNA. I mean, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So when when do you and Shad get together as a team? When does Heyman put together the team?
So Shad was just finished running a championship title. He was challenging CM Punk. CM Punk was the champion at the time. And I think they just finished running their storyline, and CM Punk retained the title. And they were wondering what to do with Shad next. And I was in the what they call it, the contract class. I wasn't signed, but I was training with the contract class, and they saw a lot of talent in me and potential. I was reliable. So they decided to put me and Shad together because they already saw that we already had a relationship. We were already cool, and yeah, we hit it off. Our friendship showed on camera, and how much fun we had. That's me and Shad were just having fun on camera, being ourselves, and we just magnified it for you guys, and everybody loved it. It was a win-win situation for everybody.
Did they know you guys were going to have such good chemistry? Like, were they aware of that at all, or was it just one of those things where it's just kind of lucky?
No, they knew that me because I wasn't in a tag team with Shad originally. I was in a tag team with my original tag team partner called Dirty. He was known to the world as Abraham Washington. He was in ECW.
Yep.
Yeah. So me and him was a tag team. That's where the name Gang Stars came from. And then he had some personal issues, and then so it was just me. And then they saw a lot of potential in me, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't. We got to do something with Jay, and him and Shadow are cool, and this is this is a great time, and let's put them together and see what happens." That type of thing. But they knew that we had a cool relationship, but let's put them together and see how they work as a tag team, and we hit it off just like that.
Such great chemistry with you guys. Is it just like that easy? Just as far as like, okay, I got along with him so well, he helped me out, and then like we could translate this to TV, or is that's not as easy as it looks for you two? It almost seems like very natural.
It was very natural. Of course, we had ideas that we had conflicting ideas at times, but we always managed to meet in the middle and make everybody happy.
What did you think of Paul Heyman?
I think he was an evil genius. When he was down there in OVW, he put together some great storylines with some great twists. Even me being a part of OVW, I didn't know all the in and outs of the storylines, but even sometimes his twists would throw him like, wow, like throw me back. He's great. He's great at putting together, building a show and putting a match together.
Evil genius. I like how you put that. So he's got a little devil on his shoulder, if you will, so to speak. With him, right, and some of the stuff, was he doing like some different things at OVW, like papering the crowd with maybe workers or guys you didn't know were workers? Was he doing different things in OVW that they weren't doing before?
I remember he was doing different things. I'm trying to remember exactly what they were. I remember that was the he definitely brought something different to the table. I'm trying to remember because he also when he was down there, Eminem, he helped Eminem be like magnify who they were, their persona.
Yep.
So he helped with a lot of characters as well.
What did you think of Punk back then? Did you think he was going to become, as big of a star as he became?
I knew he was going to be a star in WWE, but I didn't think he would be CM Punk who he is today. I'll be lying if I said that, but I definitely knew he was going to be a star when I was training with him.
Yeah, because back then Vince obviously had his guys, and Punk wasn't one of like his stylistically one of his guys, right? I mean, he doesn't appear to be like that John Cena, muscle bound type.
Who are you talking about, Vince or you?
No, Punk. Like Vince didn't like that quote unquote type back then.
Oh,
like,
I think it was more of I think Hunter was pushing for him because Punk was big on the indies, and that definitely got back, and yeah, he showed his stuff at OVW. He was a great. I wrestled Punk for the belt at OVW. Yeah.
How'd that go? Did you like the match? Good chemistry?
Oh yeah. That match, yeah, we worked each other a couple of times, and that time it went well.
So you and Shad obviously are doing your things. Are you guys rooming together? Are you tag team through and through? Like you said, traveling together. Do you live together? Do you do everything as a team?
Oh no. So down in OVW, we didn't live together. Only we roomed together when we were on the road. That's about it. He had his life, and I had my personal life.
How many years apart were you guys?
Together a lot. And when we were living down in LA, we would definitely go down to Gold's Gym Venice and catch a workout together when we can.
How many years apart were you with Chad?
So 3 years. So he'll be 44 in January. He'll be turning 44. Yeah.
So there's not much of an age gap, but just a little bit of an age gap with you. Obviously, experience gap would be he had more of the experience as a wrestler.
Yeah.
When do you guys get told that like WWE's looking at you, you're on their radar? Like, when do you get told that you're going to be called up to WWE to the main roster?
It actually caught me off guard. Because we were doing well on at OVW, and when we did the vignettes, Al Snow said, was it Al Snow or Paul Heyman? I'm trying to remember exactly who it was, but somebody from the higher ups told us, Vince, one of the writers showed Vince your vignettes. He loved it, and he just kept shaking his head. He loved it, and he walked away. I'm like, hey, what does that mean? He loved it. And then a couple of days later, I'm going to work. I was working at the daycare at Gold's Gym, and I was doing that because I was able to get a free membership and get paid. So it was 2 for 1. And I'm walking into work. I'm opening up, and then my phone rings, and it's I get the call from Connecticut, and it's John Laurinaitis, and he's offering me a contract to the WWE, and I'm like blown away, like, oh wow. At first I thought it was a rib, an elaborate rib, but when they started his assistant put me on hold, and I heard like WWE theme music, call waiting music in the background. I'm like, oh, this is real. This is the headquarters.
That's great. What did you think about Johnny Ace? Did you like him? Did you get along with him?
I got along great with Johnny Ace. I like Johnny Ace. Johnny Ace was responsible for the moment that I had with Shad's son at the Hall of Fame. He was the one who asked me if I was doing anything. And I told him no, I wasn't even invited. And he was like, "What?" He's like, "No, you're here. We gotta do something with you." And he pulled the strings. And at first, I wasn't doing it, and then he did something. I don't know what he did, but he got in somebody's ear, and I was able to escort Shad's wife and his son down the ramp.
So cool. What do you think about that moment? Because that was such like an awesome thing. Like obviously his former tag team partner with his son, his best buddy, that just seemed like such a cool moment. Like what were you thinking in that point in time?
I thought it'd be just something cool to do, but I didn't expect the response. That was a great response we got. I wasn't expecting that. A lot of people, they said that they was like holding back tears. Some people actually cried when that moment happened. And I watched it back, and I'm like, yeah, I could definitely see why. Yeah, everything was just perfect. Everything just was worked out great that night.
An emotional moment, but you're right. It was awesome. But there's like a mix. It's like, oh, it was so cool, but like, it's so sad. But it was like, man, it was awesome with the son, like how he was able to do that, and you were kind of like lifting him up. So that was great, great moment.
Thank you.
So it's so cool to have you back there. And I didn't even know Johnny Ace is responsible for that of all people. So that was pretty cool on Ace. Great job by John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, Johnny got a lot of heat right now, but he's cool in my books.
Yes. Speaking of a lot of heat right now, Vince too. Vince has a lot of heat, but he did love Cryme Tyme. What was your relationship like with Vince? Did you have a relationship with Vince at all, or what was it like with him?
I thought I had a great relationship with Vince. Everything was professional. He was always excited when he saw me and Shad. He always gave us a very warm Cryme Tyme. Great feeling of being welcome. Like it was. I saw how he treated other talent when he saw them, but when he saw me and Shad, the energy was definitely real. And then when it came to ideas or storylines, his office was open. You just had to have balls. Some people were scared to knock on his door. He likes guys who come in with ideas. Be professional and don't annoy him.
Right. Yeah. But I guess if you have like the balls, if you will, to show up and talk to him, he'll respond. Right. I mean, he'll go back with you. He'll talk to you.
Yep. Don't waste his time. Make sure you have. If you're gonna have the ball, at least have something to show for it.
Do you remember any ideas that you went into his office with and he liked and he like accepted it and he went with it?
Close. I do. I remember I wanted to do theme music. I just split up with Shad, and I kept hearing my old Cryme Tyme music. Is like I'm JTG now. Why am I still getting the Cryme Tyme song? So I approached Vince about changing it, and he was like, yeah. He gave me Was it Jim Johnson?
Yep.
Yeah, he gave me his. Notice I asked you because I messed it up.
Yeah.
I had an email. I told him what I was thinking about doing and all that good stuff. And I remember I was talking to Vince again, and he asked me, "Did you contact the music guy?" And I said, "Yeah, Jim Henson." And then he looked at me like I was weird. And then I said, "No. I mean, Jim Johnson." I kept messing up his name. I don't know why I kept calling him the puppet guy.
Yeah.
I think he got. I think he was. I don't know if he was offended by that, but he was always big on knowing people's names. He was like, if I have a company and I know all these employees' names, you should be able to know. I know he. So I think that I offended him with that, and I never got my music changed. But I didn't have the balls to ask it. I was close.
Damn it, the Muppets may have screwed you out of new music there. You know what I mean? It's a Jim Henson reference.
Jim Johnson, Jim Henson. Jim Johnson, Jim Henson. I get it now.
Yeah. So where's the name like Cryme Tyme? Where the heck does that come from? Like you said, because that wasn't the name in OVW, right? So where's that name come from?
That name came from being in the office for about 2 or 3 hours, throwing names at the wall and seeing what was available. There were so many names that we loved, some that we hate. But when we checked the trademark or the domain, they weren't available. We had to spell it different, still wasn't available. And then Shad, he just said it out loud one time. He just said, "Cryme Tyme?" And then we all just kept looking at each other and repeating it, "Cryme Tyme. Cryme Tyme, Cryme Tyme, Cryme Tyme." Yeah, it's crime. And we kept saying it over and over, and it just felt right. And they're like, "Oh, well, we gotta look it up." The trademark, they sent it off to the trademark office. They did their thing. They're like, "Yeah, we had to change the spelling, but we got it." And then we're like, "All right, good. Now we could, I'm glad we got rid of this. We could go and move on to other things now." Jeez.
Yeah. Got the name out of the way after 3 hours, right? Yeah, that's annoying. What do you remember? Some of the other names or some of the other pitches that you guys had that were thrown out there?
Well, it wasn't me and Shad's pitches, but one of the writers. One of them was Hoodie Nation. We were glad that the trademark office came back with a negative response with that. Yeah, but Hoodie Nation was one of them. I really wanted to do Gang Stars again, but we couldn't do that one. Yeah, those are the two that really stick out. But yeah, there was so many tossed around.
Neighborhoody, I guess not a good one. That's not
yeah.
And obviously, Cryme Tyme with the Y too. You just spelled it a little differently too.
Yeah, you had to.
So obviously, everybody knows the vignettes, right? The music and everything else. What did you think of the vignettes? Did you like them? Did you think they were funny? Because as a fan, they were like shocking at first, but like, wow, this is awesome. Just because like Vince is just going for it. He doesn't care. He's doing like vignettes, and these guys are, with that voiceover guy. I mean, it was like balls to the wall.
Oh, so the vignettes was all Shad and I's idea.
Wow, awesome.
They put they got the camera, and they also added the white guy doing the
yo.
That was which was the chef's kiss to the whole package. But yeah, they were all Shad and I's ideas, and we put those together in OVW, and then they just replicated it. We just did it all over again.
So good. Did you said the chef's kiss was the voiceover? Was that your guys' idea? That was them saying, let's add the voiceover guy into it.
That was definitely their idea. Yeah, we didn't have any narration when we did our vignettes.
I love it though. They were so good, so creative, so different. Do you have a favorite one that you did or that you filmed?
My favorite one was definitely when we robbed the smoothie shop. That was a friend of ours. That was he actually trained at OVW. He was actually a wrestler there. His name was Rob Fury, and he owned a smoothie shop. He was like, "Can we rob it for shooting something?" He was so happy to do it. He was, "Yeah, rob my shop. Come on, yeah, we'll be on WWE." And we robbed them, and I was able to give a shout out to my boys from back home. They didn't know WWE didn't know what I was saying, and it was a real cool. I was giving shout outs to. My friends were happy that I was able to do that for them, and then it came out great.
What do they think? Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're having that stuff, they don't mention like, "Oh, I wonder what he's saying. I wonder who's shouting out." Like they're just like, "This is great." They don't say anything.
They just went along with it. Yeah, they trusted us, I guess.
That's awesome though, because it comes off obviously more authentic than
Yeah,
like a generic WWE promo or a vignette.
yeah, they knew we wasn't gonna do nothing too crazy. We loved our job, so they trusted us.
When you look at that, right, was that like the most fun you had at WWE, like doing those vignettes and doing that like that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, the most fun me and Shad had. I could speak for Shad on this. When we first got there, we had a blast. Especially what I told you about riding with Umaga and Shelton and Charlie Haas, riding with them on the road, and coming up with ideas and promos in the car, and then being able to do it the next day, in front of a live audience. Yeah, that was great. When you're being used on TV, it's great.
Yeah,
Is when
yeah, exactly.
that's when the depression kicks in.
Exactly. I know what you mean. They're like just crazy. Like when they're into you, it's like they got the writing staff, they got the vignettes, like they're putting the energy towards you, and you're probably hyped up. Like, yes, this is awesome. I'm on TV. These vignettes are great. We're creating magic here.
Yeah.
Did you have any say in this music? I know your other music didn't work out. What about the Cryme Tyme theme? Did you have any say in it?
Absolutely no say. The first time me and Shad heard it was at a live event. I think one of the agents tapped us on the shoulder. Like, yeah, we're gonna try your new theme song tonight. See if you hope you like it. Not even see if you like it. Hope you like it, because we didn't really have any have any say in it. And then we heard it, and the crowd reacted to it, and they liked it. So if the fans liked it, we loved it. So yeah, it worked out great though. I never met the guys, the gentleman who did the song. I would love to meet him if he ever watches this. Tell him to hit me up. I'll love to get him lunch. He helped with my career. I'd love to meet the guy. But yeah, it was a great theme song.
So no problems with it. You're like, okay, this is our theme, and we're going with it. Like, I like it. This is good. Like, thank God.
Yeah, I'm glad we liked it. Yeah.
So when you guys are doing this stuff, I know obviously nowadays you probably wouldn't be able to do it because everybody gets offended of everything and everybody is so whatever. Did anybody ever say, or did you ever get any complaints like, oh, this is racist and they're doing racist stuff? Did you guys ever hear that or get a part? Because I feel like back then no one talked like that.
Oh yeah, we definitely got some feedback. It got back to the office, but they love stuff like that. They love any type of press. I remember was it on MySpace? Yeah, MySpace was at the time, and I was getting like email like, oh, you're portraying the stereotype of African American, that nonsense. And it was getting to me, and I remember I talked to John about it, and he was like, if they ain't talking about you, then he gave me that advice. Like, you're being talked about.
So nowadays it's crazy, but even back then you guys were getting some of that stuff. That this is racist. And you guys shouldn't be doing it.
Because Twitter wasn't around. If Twitter was around, I think it would have been. It would have gotten a little wild.
Yeah. So people were like complaining that you weren't like representing, that you guys were being too negative about the blacks and stuff. That's what they were like saying to you. That's what they were messaging you. They didn't like that you guys were like doing crime and everything else.
Yeah, that we were the way we were dressed, and then we were also robbing. Like, it was mostly for people who didn't really understand wrestling. I could tell, wrestling fans, they understand. This is from the outside, looking in. It looks, it comes across as a negative stereotype.
They don't see the entertainment though. You guys are in on it. Like, you're in on the joke. Like that's like the entertainment part. They weren't understanding that, I guess.
It's always non-wrestling fans. Like, yeah.
Do you think it was controversial?
Oh yeah, we did have some controversial moments, absolutely. And that's what Vince loved, especially with Bush calling was it Condoleezza Rice bitch on that. Like, come on now, like, yeah, you're asking for it. Push the envelope, yes.
Do you like when Vince and like Regal and those guys, they're like doing the dance and they're like Cryme Tyme, and they're like, did you guys think that was funny, or do you think like, oh god, this is so like corny, like a little over, this is too over the top?
No, it was amazing. They were in on it, and it made a moment that fans talk about still to this day when I'm at shows or at a convention. They like especially Regal when he did it.
Yeah. The Regal one is great. He's like dancing. He's all into it. He's got pretty funny. You
Yeah,
don't expect that from Regal.
that was only a one take too. I think he did that in one take.
Wow, that's awesome. Was it fun, like working like with Vince and stuff, and doing vignettes with Vince? Like, was he cool to work with?
Yeah, he was absolutely cool to work with. You with me, I didn't feel like if you're working with Vince, I know some talent they'll feel some type of pressure, like, oh my gosh, I can't mess up around the boss or whatever. Like we did vignettes with Vince, he sometimes messed up. There was like the energy was when I was there. I was just like I looked at him like he was human. I didn't look at him like he was some superior god. Like human, he messes up. And then we had fun. We laughed at some of the mess ups that we made, and we just start from the top, and then you eventually get it.
I feel like you would see a different side of Vince, right? Like you guys were seeing like maybe a side people didn't see of Vince before.
Oh yeah, we saw the side of Vince that was having fun, not the crazy boss you guys see on TV. Vince liked having fun on the cracking jokes behind the scenes.
So whose idea is it, like when you guys are like selling items and stealing stuff and then selling stuff to fans, like just funny stuff that we'd never seen before, but obviously fits the character and what they're doing? Like who comes up with that stuff? Is that you guys or is that the writing staff?
So I give you how it works. So they will give us something, like for example, I was just talking about this with a buddy. Like for example, the nursing home thing, the nursing home thing at the nursing home. They'll come with something like that, and we'll look at it like, whew, okay, let's make the best out of this, and whatever works, whatever works. But with that was that's also another classic. We took something that most talent will get mad at or offended at and don't want to do it, and we took it and made it a classic.
So good. Like, you take what do you lemons and make lemonade kind of thing. Do they love that? Like Vince stuff, when you don't complain, you just kind of do it and you make it great.
Yes. I think sometimes he tests you too.
Really? Like what do you mean? Like he's basically going to give you something bad and see if you do it, basically, kind of thing?
If you do it, or how well you could how you could flip it, yeah. How you could turn it around, yeah. Look at Dusty Rhodes. I heard the polka dot thing was supposed to be a rib on him. And his name also his name was Virgil. He gave his name to $1 Million Man. Yeah, they was messing with Dusty and the polka dot thing. And look what he did with the polka dots. The American Dream.
That's so true, because if you look at it, fans of a certain era, they don't go, "Oh, what a horrible game!" They're like, "That's Dusty," and the crowd pops huge every time he was on WWF TV. So nobody kind of took it that way, and obviously because of the way he took it and it's like, "I'll get the polka dots over. I'll make the polka dots." You know what I mean? And then you're going to be making figures of me with polka dots
and sell it out.
Yeah. So Vince is basically testing Cryme Tyme's attitude, if you will. They're kind of
everybody gets tested. They get the attitude tested before you get to that next level. If they could trust you with that camera, with that TV time, and with other talents' body in the ring, yeah, you definitely get tested before you get to the next level.
And it seems like if he's working with you, he must have a level of trust in you. You know what I mean? Like on TV, like he's doing vignette stuff with you guys. It must be a level of trust there where he believes in you guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially with Vince, yeah, you definitely have to be on his good side, especially if you're going to be on screen with him.
Do you think there was ever a time where they kind of pushed it too far? They pushed the boundaries or whatever, like stealing Deuce and Domino's cars, stuff like that, like, like funny stuff. But do you ever think, like looking back, there's some stuff like, they wish they wouldn't have done that, or they pushed the envelope too much, or no?
Looking, some stuff that the stuff that you did that didn't come on TV, we did say something, we did voice, like some stuff like I remember one of the writers wrote something in the script about it was a penitentiary joke, and it was just like it just wasn't needed. It just wasn't unnecessary. It just felt like forced. We said something about it. We voiced ourselves a couple of times. And they respected it and took it out. But yeah, other than that, the stuff that made it to TV, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with.
There was a bunch of like interesting things, like Deuce Don like stealing a card. You know what I mean? They did a bunch of like stuff that's kind of like, oh yeah,
That
but
was
still
some of my
funny.
favorite. That was some of my favorite vignettes, like because it was right after the match. We shot that live right after the match. I was also proud of myself for even nailing that, and remembering all
Right.
my lines. And yeah, the lines of me and Shad came up with all that. The big booty holes, get with it. I got that from we got that from Friday. We got the jingle from the melody from Friday. We added our own little lyrics to it. And yeah, we had fun, and they gave us a platform to have fun, and that was just us. They just allowed us to do it. Like, can we do this? Sometimes Stephanie was the producer, and can we do this, Stephanie? Like, yeah, I love it. Yeah, go ahead, do it. Yeah, that's what the kids are loving or doing right now. Yeah, whatever.
That's awesome. How was Stephanie to work with though? She was easy.
She was cool to work with. I was had an easy time working with her. Sometimes she could micromanage, just a little bit, but no, but it was for a better product. And working with her, our vignettes always came out great.
Money, money, yeah, yeah,
And
that
she loved
money.
that.
So that you guys literally made that up, that awesome catchphrase that's like still catchy, 20 years later. That's you guys making that up?
Yeah, Shad came up with that when we were shooting vignettes. It just needed something at the end, and then Shad started saying it, and I just started. It was off the top of our heads. He started saying it, and I just joined in, and it stuck.
So cool, so catchy. Like the crowd's cheering it, the guys backstage, everybody, right? I mean, that just gets stuck in it. Money, money, yeah, yeah. As a fan, I remember everyone used to just say the money, money, yeah, yeah, over and over and over. Such an awesome, like iconic catchphrase, if you will, right? I mean, and they were collaborative enough, or they're agreeing to let you guys do it. So I mean, that's pretty awesome on their end to be collaborative.
Oh yeah, Vince loved it because he loved the backstage segments that could get away from wrestling sometimes, and so people could relate to, and then we bring it back to wrestling, and everybody could relate to money.
Yes, very true. Also, at that point in time, you guys teaming with Cena a little bit. What did you think about teaming with John Cena, who obviously will be retiring coming up?
I know that was a great experience working with him. One month I'm jerking the curtain, they will say. At the time, Shad and I, our energy, it was great for getting the crowd up. So we were sometimes the first match, opening match, and then started working with Cena. Now we're in the main event, so it was a big jump. A lot of things I had to change and readjust.
Cena wanted to work with you guys, or they wanted to put you with Cena? How did that work?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think Cena wanted to work with us. We very similar um characters, kind of. Not so much alike, but you can see us in the same ballpark, and we hit it off great. You actually look really cool on camera too. We busted up JBL's limo.
Yes, yes. Was that a fun experience? Like you get to literally destroy, property. That's always fun.
Oh yeah, and got paid for it. Yeah, that was an amazing experience. I remember the date, July 7th, in New Orleans.
Wow. So you must have that much fun that you're remembering it even by the date. You must have loved it.
I don't remember a lot of dates and arenas, but yeah, that was a night to definitely remember.
Was that one of your most fun experiences, WWE, destroying that JBL's limo?
Oh yeah, that was because the crowd loved it. And then it was also a pinpoint in my career where we had to level up, because like even after that, Shad and I we worked Big Show and Jericho at SummerSlam. I think that was maybe a year or two later. And yeah, so yeah, working with Cena was a great was a good transition to help us, and then working them, we were ready.
Yes. Do you think that was your biggest match, that SummerSlam match against Jericho and Big Show?
In my career, yeah, because Big Show and Jericho, those are some big names, and also for me personally, I wanted to make sure that I was mentally and physically ready for that match. You know, I was wrestling Chris Jericho and Big Show, so definitely wanted to make sure that I made them proud and wanted to work with me again. So, you know, for me, you know, I had to do a lot of you know, internal stuff. You know, I also started training better because, you know, I wanted to, you know, hang with the big boys.
Yep. Oh yeah. So the Cryme Tyme, like talking to the big moments, when they break you guys up, is there any explanation for that? Did you guys like that? Because it seemed like not a team that they should be breaking up.
We had a lot of mixed emotions about it because we loved our tag team, but at the same time during that era, they weren't doing too much with the tag team division. You know, we were seeing, you know, other tag teams being created out of single wrestlers, and they would get putting the titles on them, and you had, you know, an official crowd favorite tag team, and, you know, we're not getting, you know, the spotlight or, you know, the attention that we think that we deserve at the time. So he was like, you know, let's see where this singles career goes. You know, they're not doing anything with the tag team division. So, yeah.
So not good, not happy. Like you said, Dick, maybe not using you eventually for a while there. You got a little depressed, right? Not using you as much backstage. Wasn't the same.
Yeah, it wasn't the same. So, yeah, we just going our singles route. You know, we both got stuck back in the same situation. But I'm glad I took that road, the road unknown.
Wasn't there a funny thing for a while that, like, oh, JTG still on the roster? Didn't you kind of make a joke out of that at one point about like hanging around, but not really doing much? Like you weren't really being used, not really on TV.
Yeah, you know, that was the ongoing joke on social media. You know, they was flying me in every week and not using me. And I even heard like they had like a countdown. So I just went along with it went along with the joke. And even when I got released, you know, I made light of it. You know, that the most famous. That's why I named all my books. You know, damn, why did I pick up the phone? You know, everybody gives this long depressed speech. Thank you, WWE, for my career. Live my dreams. About all that long paragraph. Damn, why I pick up the phone? You know, I want to go a different approach. But yeah.
So good. That was great. But yeah, obviously, like you said before, add a little levity to it, kind of changing it up and adding like a fun spin on things.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing with the books.
So as we head towards the wind down, head towards the finish, any regrets in the wrestling business? Anything that you regret that you didn't do, or anything you kind of regret doing as far as wrestling?
As of right now, no regrets. Just lessons. Because right now I love where my life and career has gotten, and who I am. You know, author. You know, travel around the world, youngest African American to be signed to the WWE. I was the first match at the Barclays Center when they had their first pay-per-view match event there. Yeah, I accomplished a lot, and I wouldn't change anything. You know, I don't know what, the butterfly effect. You change one thing, it alters, everything. So
Yeah,
I'm fine with
true.
everything right now.
That's true. Good point. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You change one little small thing, it changes the whole timeline gets screwed up. So what's next for you? What are you doing next?
Right now, I'm laying low till December. Yeah, I'm just gonna lay. I do got some live events coming up. I got this big show in Barbados coming up with All Caribbean Wrestling. That's Mark Henry's indie promotion. Having a blast with them, by the way. Also traveling to the Caribbean and wrestling. Yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah.
I know Mark Henry was a little controversial recently with that whole Roger Jackson thing. He got some controversial remarks out there, basically, about that guy. I don't know if you saw any of that. It was just kind of the opposite of what everyone else was saying.
Yeah, I did see it. I'm with Mark, I don't know if he got all the details. But with these type of long, complex stories, you have to get all the details. And if anybody's wanted all the details. David Otunga, he did a great job. He did a great analyst. I don't know if you follow him, but yeah, he broke it down. He's like, I'm a lawyer and a wrestler. If anybody's qualified to talk about this, it's me. And he showed all the clips. I didn't even know that was online from the stream. He had them and he broke it down and he gave it a great analyst. So maybe Mark Henry watched that David Otunga's video. Maybe he'll change his mind.
Yes, definitely, for sure. Good point. Yes. So give us one last big push for the book. Damn, why do you want to be a wrestler, and where everybody can get it as well?
For all the aspiring wrestlers, if you're on the indies, if your goal is to make it to the WWE, AEW, any of the big leagues, you definitely need this book in your phone. I cover it all. And even for fans, I made it very entertaining. I give you a good glimpse of the hustle of the indie wrestlers. What you see is only 10 or 15 minutes in the ring, but what makes a superstar is what he does, when nobody's watching. And I get into all of that. And, of course, I got to talk about it in my raw JTG fashion. So if you love my other two books, you're going to love this one.
And where can everybody get it? Where can everybody find it?
Oh, you can find it I got it on Gumroad. It's in my link in my it's in my link in my bio in my Instagram. So if you follow me on social media, on Instagram is JTG 121084. Just click the link in my bio, and on Twitter it's JTG 1284. Just click the link. I got links, and I'm talking about the book all over my social media, so it should be hard to find.
Nice. Damn, why do you want to be a wrestler? The real playbook for aspiring wrestlers, the indie hustlers, and the dreamers. JTG, Jay the God. Thank you so much for all the time. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me, John. It was a great interview. You asked me some unique questions.
Awesome. Thank you, JTG. I appreciate that. Thank you.